What's up, y'all? Welcome to Two Brothers and a Shot of Milk and a Sister. Today we're talking about
Awesome.
Yes, okay.
today
All
we're
right.
talking about Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yes.
And this
Shout out
is
to Brooklyn.
This is we got Jack Walker Pearson, Christopher St. Victor, Optimus St. Victor, Richard Wilson, and our guest today, Sage Nesbitt.
What's up, everybody? Okay, Chris is a fan. I could tell.
Chris is a
No,
fan.
You-
Sage, what,
10 out of
what,
10,
what,
right?
what would give you that idea that I even enjoyed this movie in the least?
I
bit?
hope you saw the movie with that thing. I hope you went into the movie theater.
Probably wouldn't have changed the experience. So let's give our spoiler-free synopsis. Here we go. This is the IMDb spoiler-free synopsis of Transformers: Rise of the Beast. During the 1980s, a new faction of Transformers, the Maximals, joined the Autobots and allies
Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn.
for the Battle of Earth.
Shout out to Brooklyn. Say,
All right.
Shout out
Shout
to
it
Brooklyn.
out, Jack.
Yeah, Brooklyn! What?
Thank you.
All right, here we go. So let's get some
What was all that?
spoiler-free thoughts. I don't know. That's what you're supposed to do when the movie's exciting. Let's get some spoiler-free thoughts to get the ball rolling, and then we will spoil the hell out of this thing. So, Chris, spoiler-free thought?
This was the best Transformers movie I've ever seen in my life. The best. It was a non-stop thrill ride.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. I went in there with very low expectations, so this was actually enjoyable.
Thank you, Rich.
I kind of almost agree. It was maybe the better of the Transformer movies that have been made, but I couldn't tell you what I thought the point of it was.
You kind of were sleeping during the movie a little bit. You probably missed the whole point.
I
of
am
the
the
movie.
most attentive movie watcher you'll ever meet on the planet. I don't say a word to anybody. I don't deviate from the thing. My eyes are glued. I'm absorbing. What are your spoiler-free thoughts, Sage?
10 out of 10. The best movie. So good. From the beginning, like Chris said, from beginning to the end, it was just like a ride. Like you never got off of the ride. And I didn't sleep during this one. Normally I fall asleep. But this one was, we were
So to
up
be
for the whole
fair,
one.
so whenever I see all these movies, I take my son, who's
Makes
5, and my wife. And my wife is not a fan, and she loved this
No.
movie also. This movie translates to everybody, except for Jack, clearly.
Except for that.
It was heartfult. It was,
Listen,
there was a story.
Acting was
and
great. Acting was great. What was the story? Acting
The
was
story
great, though.
was
The
his
visual was great.
the world was ending. His brother was sick.
Right.
He needed money to take care of his brother.
Right, so-
the Transformers came in to save the whole world. So that's the story. It's about saving the world.
So speaking of which, let's get into the spoiler zone. So
Let's
for
go.
those of you who don't want this spoiled, go ahead and like and comment now and peace out. Come back after you've seen it. Those of you who are ready to talk, let's go. So the movie starts out and we're in Brooklyn.
yeah.
Bruh, bruh.
1990s. Why are we in the 1990s? I couldn't honestly
Because
answer that question.
That's the latest time period.
Right, it's the latest time period, but
Exactly.
what's it got to do with the film? I couldn't tell you. And
That's when the Transformers were coming down.
And what's it got to do with the story? I also couldn't
Look,
tell you.
it allowed us to, first of all, look, this movie was made for us, right? Because
Right.
Transformers,
Exactly.
so this is our music growing up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
And
why
he means
not put it in the 90s?
our.
No, I understand what he meant.
This was, look, the themes, the soundtrack to this movie was amazing.
Oh, what is
Amazing.
the soundtrack for this music, man? I
You
need
got,
to look that
it
up.
was all a dream. You got Biggie.
You got Biggie, you got Black Sheep, you have LL Cool J, you have Tribe Called Quest.
De La Soul in that?
Represent, like, come on, you're
Come on.
Yeah.
You're jamming throughout the movie too.
Yes.
You're like,
Yes, I'll
Yeah,
admit. The
very
soundtrack
true.
of it was great, but I feel like the whole reason they... also, let me go back. The movie actually didn't start there. The movie starts on the primals. What's the name?
Primal,
It starts on
Primal 1.
the Maximals. It starts on the planet of the Maximals, where the cyber what's the guy's name? The cyber thing that wants to
Unicron?
eat everybody up.
Unicron.
Oh,
Yeah.
cyber. hold on.
Unicron.
No, Unicron.
Unicron.
So wait.
Unicron.
Let me step back. So Unicron is the big bad from the 1986 movie.
Yeah.
So it's the brother of Primal.
Wait.
Primus.
No.
Yes. They're brothers. The
Oh,
two
no.
brothers.
You talk about Axe
Oh,
and
you talk-
Optimus Primal.
Okay.
No,
All
no. I'm talking about Unicron is the other half to Prime. Not Optimus Prime, Prime, the original Prime.
Oh, the
Prime.
original Prime. Okay, yeah.
Who actually creates Cybertron. Primal creates Cybertron that spawns all the Transformers, while Unicron goes around devouring
Planets.
planets for
planets.
energy. So, anyways, yes, Unicron is going to go devour the Maximals planet, and he wants this energy force that the Maximals have that's going to allow him to travel the cosmos unimpeded.
Right.
Well, not just the cosmos. He was going to go from universe to universe to universe.
Just eating everything up.
So they said he could travel through time too, right?
Yeah.
Right. Time and space.
Yep.
So in a less than epic battle that ensues, in my opinion, the Maximals peace out. They leave the less attractive looking ape-esque Transformer alone to die, while the other more attractive Transformers escape.
You're saying you find Optimus Primal attractive? Is that what you're telling me?
More attractive than the counterpoint. Yes, he's one good-looking creature of a Transformer. And they, for some reason, they decide to go to Earth, and they go to Earth millions of years ago, and then just kind of don't really hide in plain sight, because later in the film you learn that they're actually just chilling with the humans the entire time.
But that's a key. Whoa. I'm not gonna let you blow past it like it's not a key factor.
Thank you, Chris, because he's just trying to water down our movie. But go ahead.
Optimus, okay, you're jumping ahead, but that relationship is what teaches Optimus Prime how to trust, Jack.
Optimus Prime.
Right.
But not Optimus Primal.
Optimus Primal already had the trust in his heart.
It's
about heart.
Yeah.
Don't you get it?
There are a lot of characters in this movie who were introduced, and I couldn't even tell you what half of them were.
Have you watched, did you watch Beast Wars?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
What do you think? I'm not an 80s child?
All right, then. So Beast Wars came out, what year was it? 89 or like anywhere from 89 to 91.
Yeah.
So like 2 seasons. So out of Beast Wars, we got Optimus Primal, we got the Maximals logo, the Maximals name. We got Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor. I don't remember the Eagle one in Beast Wars, but it might have been. But I don't know why they call them Terracons and not Predacons, like from Beast Wars. And they should have used.
I'll tell you why.
Why is that, Rich?
Predators? You want people? I mean, look at them Predacons over there.
Yeah.
That Predacon. Look at it. What's that Predacon doing at the playground? What's he doing over there? He ain't got no kids.
Together. But
look at this. This is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
So the whole base of Beast Wars was that. So look, see, I have Scorponok right here from Beast Wars.
Nice.
Right?
Okay.
So the whole thing was they land on Earth. There's so much energy on Earth that they're in their robot form. They can't be in their robot form too long, so they transform into the beast to protect them from the energon fields. And that was kind of like that. So there was a reason to Beast Wars actually had a reason for them to transform. That was the reason for them to transform, not to hide, but to protect them from everything that's around.
Well, they weren't really hiding in this film, and the way the animal Transformers transformed into
Maximals, Jack, please use proper terminology.
The Maximal Transformers transformed into like humanoid forms was really interesting. You're like, why didn't you just?
That's how it was in the cartoon, though. Optimus Primal, his actual hips turned around. He had transformed like in the movie. That's how he transformed in the cartoon.
Oh wait, they transformed in the movie? Yeah, bro, I must have fell asleep then.
What?
Yeah, at the end of it, they transformed into.
That's when I fell asleep. I fell asleep for like literally like a minute.
Too, so Jack fell asleep and you fell asleep.
I definitely did not.
You did fall asleep.
You're just angry because I didn't like the film. I didn't not like the
Oh
film.
no,
though. I
you just
liked
said
the
you didn't
film.
like it.
I was mixed.
Get your
It's a
facts.
mixed bag for me. All right, so let's keep pushing. Let's
All
keep
right,
it
all
pushing.
right.
So the movie's set in the 1990s. Why? I couldn't tell you why, other than the
Okay, just keep it
soundtrack
pushing.
is lit, right? Okay, good.
That's not the only reason, but go ahead, continue.
Okay, so then what happens? We're introduced to Anthony.
Anthony Ramos.
Yeah.
Ramos.
Who kills
Ramos.
this
Ramos.
part. He crushes the role. And
Ramos.
also, may I borrow your phone for half a second? This is such a star-studded cast. Let me give you a rundown of some of the people who are in here. Anthony, who's just killing it.
Ate it.
But we have the voice of Pete Davidson, who is
Yes.
hysterical
He
as
He
Mirage.
was
so
pretty
funny.
good.
He
So
made
good.
the movie. Yep.
Yeah.
Made the movie. We have my boy Ron Perlman as Optimus Primal.
Yep.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh.
Who's Optimus Prime, Jack? I know who it is. I just want to hear you say it.
Optimus Prime was
There he is.
Peter Cullen.
And you know what
yeah.
Peter Cullen's known for?
Yeah,
Voiceover.
The voice of Optimus
Optimus
Prime
Prime.
from the original Transformers cartoon.
Yeah. And you got Peter Dinklage as Scourge. I mean, just a fun, a wonderful cast from start to finish. All right, so we're set in the 90s.
You forgot Michaela Rodriguez.
Okay, go ahead. Give the rundown then.
No, I'm just saying you can't forget diversity.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, and Toby was really good too as Reek. He was funny. The African American guy.
Yeah, I thought he looked familiar. I'm
was-
like, yo, that
he
dude
was
looks
hysterical.
wild familiar. Yes, he was good.
Yeah.
And Dominique Fishback. You say Dominique Fishback?
Yes, and Dominique, who plays
Oh,
the
so good. Shout out to Brooklyn.
museum lady. All right, so we start out with Anthony trying to get a job. Can't get a job to save his life. His little brother, his brother who's suffering from
sickle cell anemia.
sickle cell
Mhm.
anemia. And they call each other fun
The
video
Sonic
game
and Tails,
names
because
from the
it's
90s.
90s, Jack. It's
Right,
90s.
and that's what all older and younger brothers did is you're Mario, I'm Luigi, I'm Sonic, you're Tails, right? And so we got that dynamic. And I will say that the little kid is killing it. The mom's killing it. The family dynamic is killing it.
Great.
It's great to look at.
Lauren Velez, she
Yo,
should
Lauren-
play every Hispanic mother.
Lauren Velez. Oh my God, the
Remember
bro.
she was on the cover?
Yes, I do.
Right?
Woo, man.
She should play, and she, and
Yeah.
she's the mom from Spider-Man too.
Ain't that wild?
Yeah.
Okay,
She
it makes
is
sense.
the Hispanic mother for Hollywood.
She's the go-to Hispanic mother for
Yeah.
Hollywood.
She did
How
a
about
really
that?
good job.
Yeah.
So he can't get a job to save his life, but so he decides instead of trying to seek employment, he's going to go with his friend and do some criminal activities in order to make some money. So he agrees to break into a museum to try to steal a car that's being held there. He breaks into the museum,
Right.
decides not to steal the car, decides to steal the car. No, I'm not going to steal the car. Now I'm in the car and the car won't let me out. Oh yeah, the car is a transformer. Transformers getting a distress call from Optimus Prime, who sees a light go off.
Okay.
Going back a little
Wait,
bit.
wait. So before, as this is happening, we see who's the colored girl? The smart colored girl?
Right.
Dominic
Oh,
Fishback.
Yeah.
Elena is her character name. in the
Elena,
movie.
right. So we have Elena at the museum at Ellis Island. We find out she's a genius. They're
Right.
looking like it opens up with her being late. She's an intern. She they ask the museum curator is like, they want to see what's fake. I need you to look at it. Right off the bat, bam, she knows. That sets up her character as she's not just
Genius.
beauty, she's brains, she's the full package, right? Cool. As she's working, after hours, she breaks what looks like the Maltese Falcon, and it ends up being the key.
Mhm.
And that's what light shoots the beam of light in the air that only
Thank you, Chris.
Transformers can see. And then that's when Mirage gets the call because Optimus sees it. He's like, it can't be true. This is our ticket back to Cybertron because this is the key that can get us back to our home world. Let's go get it.
Okay.
Right. So Mirage takes off in pursuit of the distress call with our protagonist stuck in the cockpit.
Right.
He's driving down the road. Cops are chasing him. He's doing
sick scene.
It's a fun scene, but also it's a fun scene, And so he's got some stuff he does to get away from the cops. And eventually they get to this undisclosed warehouse where Optimus Prime, the motorcycle robot
RC.
lady, RC,
RC,
Played
okay.
by Liza
Cushy.
Liza Cushy.
Liza
okay, and
Cushy,
then you
yeah.
have Bumblebee,
Yep.
and
And you
those
have
are
because Wheeljack didn't show up till later. So
Right.
so here's what they did. They took a lot of the original crew from Generation 1, from the first
yeah,
Transformers, and included them where in the past Transformers movies it was really, really like obscure. Either they made up their own guys or they picked like obscure
Right.
guys. And this time they picked like the core crew. You know, Mirage, Jack, Wheeljack. Oh, these guys were it in the first Transformers movie.
So I was a little
series.
confused as to whether or not I thought this Transformer movie was or was not linked to other Transformer movies. It was because Optimus makes comments about Bumblebee having relations with the humans in the past, so I'm assuming that was the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
There's the Mark Wahlberg reference, which I'm assuming tells me they're not related to that movie in canon.
Yeah, so technically this movie would sit as a prequel, right? Because we didn't have the Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox movies until early
Oh, so it's
2000s.
before that. Okay.
This is before that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right, which again is really odd to me why they set this thing in the 90s.
Because
to me, there's no real apparent reason other than if you listen to interviews from the director, he just kind of wanted to do it.
yeah, but it kind of got really like if you watched Last Night and the other ones, it got really weird and really messy and kind of convoluted towards the end. So they're saying that this is almost like a soft reboot, kind of rebooting it, kind of like saying, okay, you know, we just didn't arrive here, we've been here, and maybe these movies didn't happen. So the new movies didn't happen. So this may be a reboot for the a soft reboot for the franchise. Because what was interesting is in Bumblebee wasn't a Camaro. But when this movie, Bumblebee's a 70s Camaro, which is the same Camaro we see in the very first Transformers movie.
Right.
So it's not there's some weird continuity, but there's some it kind of ignores some of the things that happened in the later movies.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure where I thought this was placed in the cinematic canon.
Yeah. So yeah, it's placed after Bumblebee, but ahead of Transformers 1.
But they do the same thing in this movie that they've done in the other movies. They go, actually, hold up. Transformers have been on the planet forever. They actually taught civilization how to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, but the Maximals are a little bit different than the Autobots, though.
Right, they're giant robots that transform. Very different.
Right, but they're Maximals, not Autobots.
Giant robots that transform.
All right.
Like.
Okay, so pushing the plot along. So our protagonist, what's his name? What's Anthony's character's name?
Noah Diaz.
Noah, that's right. Noah Diaz. So Noah Diaz goes to the museum to steal a car, ends up getting induced into Optimus Prime's team via Mirage.
Right.
Optimus Prime has a chip on his shoulder, does not like humans. It's a very different Optimus Prime than we've seen in any of the other movies, which is interesting.
Right.
And he begrudgingly says, you know what, we need someone small to break into the museum to go undetected. Why? I have no idea. It doesn't actually make any sense. When you think about it, they just needed an excuse to use a human. But okay, fine, cool, fine.
He said
because
we don't want to cause a scene.
Yes, but then look at what happens. So Noah decides, hey, all right, let's go. Now Noah's interesting because as a protagonist, he's got his own plan. His plan is maybe I'll go along with their plan right up until the point it stops serving the human race. And if it puts Earth in jeopardy, I'm balking on the plan together, and I'm looking out for number one. Right. And my family and my brother and my mom in planet Earth. So Noah's kind of guy. Huh?
He's team people. I can't be mad at that.
Absolutely. You can't be mad at that. And it actually adds for an interesting dynamicism between the protagonists of the story, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And it's more human, right? Mm-hmm. And Optimus Prime is interesting because he's not holistically looking out for anyone either. He's looking out for number one. And so you got both these protagonists looking out for number one and their families, not making the connection that they do later in the movie that we're all just good and bad. So good is good and bad is bad, and good looks out for good. All right. So anyways, pushing on. Noah breaks into the museum. He's not very good at it. And the museum lady, who's the intern, what's her character's name? Elena is there working late trying to crack the code with this thing that she is just...
The key.
She's trying to crack the code to the key.
Right.
While they're there, what are the evil Transformers called?
They're called Terracons, but they should have been called Predacons. But
well, the terrible Predacons come to extract the key, and they got there very fast. They're blowing holes in the museum. They're destroying everything.
Let's talk about the dogs, the bot dogs they released.
Okay, they released some small bot dogs. Why do you want to bring that up?
Because that's what pushes Noah and Elena
into a situation where they got to work together to flee the bot dogs.
Because they hated each other, remember?
Well, she was scared of Noah.
She was rightfully scared.
Noah gets on the horn and says, "Hey, man, we need your help. We're being attacked." So then the Autobots show up and they fight the Predacons or Terracons. And they get their butts.
That's where Bumblebee dies.
That's where, spoiler alert, Bumblebee gets killed. He gets got.
Right.
And they get their asses handed to them. Right. And then we got Michelle Yeoh's character, the Falcon, called Falcor.
Really?
No, it's called Air Razor.
She's like, no way.
And so Air Razor shows up, and he
was sleeping, y'all.
Air Razor shows up, and she does something, and then the Predacons or Terracons, they get the key and they peace out. But then, what's that? The big guy's name again? Unicron says, "Hey, you fool! That's only half the key." And Scourge is like, "Why didn't you tell me what the key looked like? I would have known what I was looking for. I would have known it was half the key. Please don't kill me." Sorry, Master. Sorry, Master. Which, that's not inappropriate.
Comes back to Earth.
So he sends him back to Earth. Well, he never actually leaves. He's on like a cyber thing. Yeah. So he goes back looking for the key. As the girl and the guy get both kind of inducted into the Autobots circle because of Michelle Yeoh's character, Air Razor, is like, we got to work together, people. And then the girl is just a genius. What's her name again?
Elena.
Elena's just such a genius that she cracks the code as to, oh wait, this hieroglyph that was on this thing, I made a picture of the picture, and I can tell you that it's in, what country is it in?
Peru.
It's in Peru. And now we leave Brooklyn, New York, and we head for Peru, in which case the fact that this movie is set in the 90s only mostly mattered before and now absolutely doesn't matter, because every backdrop from here on out in the film is basically just open lands or forests.
Well, that's where you got to fight.
Yeah.
Right, that's where you have to fight. And so they go to Peru, but there's a street-wide festival happening in Peru. So again, the Autobots make the same decision that they made last time. Hey, let's send the humans and try to stay incognito. Of course, don't they transform into things that most humans don't look twice at?
Yeah, but right. No, they were cars the whole time.
Robots in the skies. Right. So anyways,
you couldn't really tell from that far off.
You're right. Hey, listen, when you're right, you're right. So instead of being robots in the skies, they decide to, again, send the humans. Now, this is when Noah's character tells Elena's character, hey, listen, let's help him out, but if it goes south, let's destroy this thing. So at least we're looking out for number one.
You're missing the heartfelt moment of when they were on the plane in the first place.
And you know what? I also missed the heartfelt moment between Mirage, Noah, and Noah's brother, Tails.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Tails, yes. And so what happens is Noah's getting ready to leave on his little secret mission with the Autobots, and Mirage is outside his window, his second-story window, doing Mirage stuff, played by Pete Davidson, who's hysterical.
Great.
He was being a Predacon.
And so he's standing on a car, and the car explodes under him, thus alerting his little brother that something odd is happening. So the little brother runs to the window. What's going on? He knows something's weird. He throws a bottle at Mirage, who's in car form. He's a robot in disguise. And then Mirage doesn't like that, so he transforms into the robot. And suddenly you're sitting here going, these robots have been on Earth for how long? And they don't really seem to have a problem with humans noticing them. I mean, they just like doing their thing every time a human gets in their path, they turn into.
You have to be able to trust that person. It's an instinct thing.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, he trusts him because he's been inside of him. Like,
Exactly.
You've been inside me, bro.
The movie.
You've been inside me.
Which is a great line, by the way.
Hysterical. Yes, it was definitely hysterical. And so there's this great moment where Mirage befriends the little brother, and the little brother has this great moment where he tells Mirage, hey, man,
You got to take care of my bro.
you got to take care of my bro. And Mirage says, absolutely. He's been inside me. And so then they go and they jump inside a much bigger Autobot. And
Transform. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Transformer. And they fly to Peru. While in Peru, there's the street fair. They decide to send the humans. So the humans are going. Meanwhile, the Terracons, should be called Predacons, are actually just, I mean, they're on top of everything. They're already in Peru, and they're spying on the humans, and they go, oh, the Autobots have sent their little toys to do their bidding for them. Go after them. So then they
Pretty
go
much,
after,
yeah.
That's pretty good.
right? Pretty much,
He
right?
sends the
Pretty
dog.
much.
Right? He sends the dogs after the humans, but not before something really interesting and new to the canon happens.
Yes.
At least new to the cinematic canon happens, where Mirage goes, hey, bro, take this with you.
Wild.
And he gives Noah a piece of himself that acts as kind of intuitive glove around him.
Which was
What
cool.
Noah doesn't know is the glove's a blaster too.
Yep.
But he finds that out later.
Okay, fast forward.
Fast forward. The humans get to a monastery. The lady has
Elena
has obviously done plenty of escape rooms. She's really good at puzzles. She should be the new Tomb Raider. She
She's an
cracks
archaeologist, Jack. She knows. She's been studying this. She knows what to look for. She sees
Right.
the thing. She turns the logo.
Right,
to
because the
direction.
picture is
She don't know. She's never been out of Brooklyn.
right. Well, yeah.
So,
And-
hey,
you know what? And escape rooms didn't actually exist in the 90s.
Exactly.
Anyways, she's really smart.
She is smart.
Brooklyn
that.
people are smart.
She turned some giant
The
rock
tablet thing.
puzzle
Yeah.
thing that has been sitting for thousands of years, and somehow actually it turns pretty easily.
No,
when
it
you
didn't.
consider-
You had to push a little.
You had to push a little, right? So
Chris,
she pushed that
Chris,
thing a little.
You work on
Push that thing a
buses.
little.
Anything that's been there for a long time moves super easy, right?
Right,
And I'm
exactly.
sure they cleaned it too.
It don't.
Yes.
Because you have to make sure the place is maintained.
Absolutely. So they pushed this maintained
Sure.
rock that turned relatively easy, and under it, there is a spiral rock case, really small plates that you're gonna have to step on, and it goes down forever. Now, let me tell you what I'm not crawling down. I'm like, okay, let's
Yeah,
But
let's
some
go.
sketchy
the
hole.
fate
Yeah.
of the world.
You gotta do it for the world. Thank you, Chris. You
Yeah.
gotta do it for the world.
Right.
Ain't nobody going in some sketchy hole.
Listen,
Oh,
global warming's happening. The world will be all right.
And what
Because
kind of
it's
natural
gonna end no matter
disasters
what.
does Peru have? Do they have earthquakes?
Okay, fast forward.
They got
Anyways, they
earthquakes.
go,
Probably
they
some
do?
volcanoes. I don't know. I'm saying maybe.
I'm surprised that tunnel
Possibility.
is still intact if there's any kind of like seismic. Anyways, they go down the tunnel and they find an underground city. Oh my goodness. And how that place managed to stay unfound for thousands of years, I have no idea.
Because no one
Especially,
turned the tablets, Jack.
It was a
That's why.
secret society.
yes, except for they go through the system and there's a whole like underground monastery. But at the end of it, it opens into the forest. So no one from the forest went the other way.
Well,
either.
no one's going into that forest.
Correct. And so while they're in the temple, they're attacked by the little dog transformer creatures. And that's when Noah blasts them. And the girl's like, you had a gun on you the whole time? He's like, well, I wish I'd known that. Now I do. I'll use it more often. And so he gets back. They get outside of the tunnel system and they're into the forest.
But
and
wait,
they
wait,
run
wait,
in-
wait! Before they go, they open up the tablet thing. They push the thing like very Indiana Jones esque. They
Oh, that's
realize the other half of the key is not there. That's when they
Yes.
get attacked. That's when they run. That's when
Yep.
they end up in the jungle.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
you.
And then they run into, drum roll please, Optimus Primal,
Yep.
who
Yeah.
is an ape-esque transformer.
Yep.
And
So
Primal bangs his chest as he would,
Yes.
just as Optimus Prime rolls up,
Yeah.
guns ready to go, and
Stand down.
stand down.
And then Cheetor jumps in. Rhinox,
She's
you see Rhinox
on
stuff.
top of
Oh, it's awesome.
Mirage, and
That
so
scene is awesome.
yeah, and instantly you're
Mhm.
like, oh, the Autobots are outclassed by the, what are they called? Maximals. And then you got Michelle's character swoops down Falcor, and she's like, hey, let's they're good, they're with us. And then
Here's my thing with that scene. You got the Autobots rolling in with blasters ready to go.
Yo.
And the Maximals are just going to sit there and start clawing people as they get blasted?
No, because when Rhinox opened his mouth, you saw the energy in his mouth, like, whoa, about to blast.
Right.
I ain't seen none of it.
Well,
one of them had a blaster, but the other ones were
They
just
all have
gonna
blasters.
start clawing. No, they supposed to, but at that point they didn't have mouth. They would have to transform to get the blasters.
Yeah, facts.
I have a question, Chris. In the Bumblebee movie, and you might know this answer too, who was the villain?
I don't know.
Wasn't it?
Was there a villain? Was it like E.T. where there was no kind of villain? Was it just like evil government?
Okay, so then that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then my question is, in this setting, if you remove the rest of the canon, and you especially have to remove anything that's set after the 90s, which is the bulk of it, except for the fact that, the Autobots were there since the 1700s and stuff. Anyways, if you remove that factor, I'm sitting here going, is this the first time the Autobots are running into another transforming race of creatures and their first instinct is to start a fight?
Oh no,
Which
there
is
was
interesting.
a villain in Bumblebee.
Well, you don't know if they're the enemy, just like we saw how other people are the enemy. So
That's right. I didn't know.
exactly.
And Optimus Prime is a legend. He's been fighting for centuries.
Yes.
Right. Well, clearly because the other guy took his name entirely.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. All right. So then Falcor comes down and says, "Hey, y'all, don't fight. We're all on the same team." And then instantly everyone's cool. They're like, "Oh, hey, you're alive?" And
It's a Martha moment. Yeah.
Yep. And then what happens is, Primal goes, you're looking for the other key. Let me show you where it is. I actually took it away and I gave it to a bunch of humans to look after like 2,000 years
That's
ago.
not what he said.
But it pretty much says nuts and bolts. You want to?
No.
All right, go ahead, clarify.
That's not what he said. He said he hid the key.
With?
He didn't say with the humans. He said amongst. So get it correct. Thank you very much. Fast forward.
But now, okay, fast forwarding.
Look at Rich's face.
Wait,
you
wait.
were sleeping, Rich.
Wait.
No, listen. I slept at that one part. I was there for that. Amongst and with is the same. I don't know what's happening right now.
No, it is not. Listen, fellas, English class.
All right, so then let me fast
Not with the humans. With is like you have it with you. Amongst is they don't know where it is.
All right, so let me fast forward then. So they fast forward, and Primal says to the leader of the human faction that he's embedded with, "Hey,
why are you being sarcastic,
he says,
Jack?
No, I'm not. This is the events." He goes, "Hey, can you go get the key?" And the humans bring the key. Primal doesn't bring the key. The humans bring the key. They unwrap it. So
that's how he learns.
No. You're getting it wrong. Getting it wrong.
Okay.
They had.
Yes.
They didn't know the humans had the. Primal didn't know the humans had the key.
He gave it to them.
No, he gave it to them. No, he's been working with them.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
The gorilla one didn't know they had the key.
The gorilla one gave them the key.
Did.
No.
Hang on, Chris,
because he took the key from the tomb to move it to keep it safe, and therefore gave it to them because they've been looking after it for how many their people have been looking after for how many centuries or whatever.
That he's been working with.
Oh, you're talking about the people in the Caribs, like the ants.
Yeah,
like
the people that physically gave them the key.
Mad indigenous people.
You know those are humans too, right? Okay.
And
this was
they're trustworthy humans, as you can see.
Right. And this is why Optimus Prime is surprised, and he says to Optimus Primal, "You entrusted the humans with this?" Thus teaching Optimus Prime a lesson that some humans can be trusted. And this tribe has been watching over the key for hundreds, if not thousands, of years at this point. The humans have had it. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So Now they decide. Optimus Prime decides, even though we got our butts kicked in our first Ingo with the Terracons, let's go pick another fight to get the other half of the key. Noah's going, didn't they just get their butts kicked the last time they fought with them? This plan doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah.
I think what we should try to do is destroy the other half of the key that we currently have.
Right.
Instead of picking a fight and losing both halves. Which is interesting because then... Is it Optimus who actually gives the key to Noah to safeguard?
Yeah.
One of the Transformers.
He put it in the backpack of Elena.
And that's when he took it to the riverbed and told Elena he had it. He had to blast her out, and it's like, I'm gonna blast the key. And then Optimus rolls up, and it's like, look, if I were you, I'd probably do the same thing.
Right. So point is, one of the Autobots gives the key to the Brooklyn humans, not the tribe humans, not the humans from Peru. Sorry, not the humans from Peru, but the humans who are new to the group.
You know, you could say their names. You could say gave it to Elena and Anthony.
Well, his name would have been Noah, though.
He gave it to the Puerto Rican and the colored girl. Keep going.
Thank you. So he gave it.
Listen.
So the aliens gave it to the minorities to look after. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, exactly.
So they go to the
You
riverbank.
can't say minorities. You can't say minorities.
That's not an offensive word.
You can't say minorities.
All right.
You didn't hear what he says when you're down here, Sage.
So they go
The
down.
mouth of that
Oh
guy.
my! I can't imagine, Chris.
He's all like, look at these spooks and jigaboos and all this other stuff.
All right, so we're gonna get canceled here. Now we're in
Cancel, okay. We are replacing you.
We're in dicey water here. So they go down to the riverbank, in which case Noah gets the opportunity to destroy the key, and he's going to. Now, in my opinion, this is the most interesting moment in the entire film right here.
Okay.
But then Optimus Prime rolls up and he says one sentence to Noah, and Noah just stops entirely. And you're like, well, that was pretty easy.
No, it wasn't. It was heartfelt. You saw the emotions in his face.
Whose face?
Noah's.
What about Optimus?
He thought about how they're the same people. Remember that conversation she had? You guys are the same?
Right.
Remember?
It was a very Spider-Man 2 moment, Jack. He's like, we don't have to pick either or. We can do it all.
You're forgetting your moments. That's your problem.
You're talking about the Across the Spider-Verse.
Yes, it was the same moment where Miles Morales is like, I don't have to pick. I can have it all. And then Optimus was telling him, we don't have to
I wish it were a little harder. I think obviously the resolution needed to be the same. That moment was so compelling for me. I needed it to be a little harder for Noah to let go. And a little harder for Optimus also. You know, Optimus had a huge moment where he entrusts them with this thing, right? Whether he was the one who gave it to him or not, he didn't stop it. He was an agreement that let's give it to them. And so that was Optimus's big turning moment to start trusting the humans. And this was the moment where the two factions come together and unify their plan, right? Which unfortunately, literally the second Noah decides to not destroy the thing, the Terracons show up and they take it. Right. They just kind of
you forgot when she turned.
Okay, yes. Yeah. So what happens is Falcor, Air Razor, she gets injured in an altercation with Scourge, and Scourge infects her in a way where she's basically kind of like
getting rusty.
Well, it's more like she gets
corrupted.
Yeah, it's like she gets a virus
like
to her.
The way they did it was so insane, though, because it looked really disgusting.
It looked really,
it looked really
painful.
Bad.
But what was interesting about it was she said, when Scourge hits you, he leaves his mark, and she brushed it off. But she brushed it. What was weird about it is she brushed it off in a way where, as an audience member, we knew that wasn't the end of it. You just got
like when the guy calls and sees blood on the handkerchief. It's that moment.
But it was more like in every zombie movie where the person gets bit and they hide the bite.
That's exactly
you know what I mean. I'm sitting here going,
couldn't he have done that to everybody?
But I'm sitting here going, do you know you're going to completely lose control of yourself at this point, but she knew that Scourge
would left a mark.
so she had some sort of understanding of who Scourge is.
Right.
And so that was weird to me, because as such a heroic character herself and such a self-sacrificing character, it didn't make sense to me that she would have known her own outcome at this point and still made the same choices she made. So I was like, did she know or did she not know? It was an odd thing for me. Anyways, long story short, she does turn, and she turns at this real inopportune moment for the good guys and starts attacking the good guys, which leaves them vulnerable and wide open for the terrible Predacons to come take the other half of the key, which they do very quickly.
Right.
And then the Terracons, using the key, open a portal, or they do something weird. It's like it's almost like that moment in Superman where Superman throws the Kryptonian jewel into the ice and it creates a fortress of solitude. Somehow this thing came out of a volcano, where it's like, was this thing always there, or did they
like he was walking and the bridge was forming in front of him and everything?
It was so odd to me.
It could have been the power of the key.
It was the power of the key. The power of the key terraformed the planet and opened up a portal where they could plug the key in to open up a portal.
Right.
Right.
Sarcasm. Yeah. Okay.
Just a little bit. Just a little hint of it, right? Yeah. And so then what happens is, and jump in as we're going, obviously, but then what happens is the Autobots have to go get the key back. And now
so they're like, it's hope is lost. Autobots are like, it's over. And Noah jumps in and is like, no, we can't lose hope. There has to be a plan. Elena's like, she's like, there's a code to disable the key, but the code's been lost to time. Elena's like, no, I know it. I put these symbols together through my research. Here it is. Let's make a plan. Then they make a plan like, look, it's too big for Autobots.
Again, this is the third time.
That's why Autobots and humans got to be together. So then they're like, look, we can send you through. We'll create the version. We go. You put in the code, and then we can take the key back.
Now, I will say this. This is one of the first times I really saw this distinction in size and scale, and I loved it. There was this epic wide shot, and you had Noah and Elena talking to the Autobots and Maximals. And you saw Optimus Prime is huge, man. He dwarfs everybody.
That's how he is in the toys, too.
It's how he is in the toys. And well, not all of them. Some of them are like, they're like McFarlane scale. They're like, everything is just kind of big, but it's like why is Superboy so big as a toy? It doesn't exactly make sense, but okay. And then, but you saw the scale of the Autobots and the Maximals and the humans and how distinct they were. And Mirage wasn't he was a car, and Optimus is a giant semi truck. And for one of the first times, like, that scale is so clear. And I understood, other than just thematically, Optimus is made to be the leader of this faction. He is massive. He's powerful. He's big. So I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed the visual of that scene. Really put everything literally to scale. So anyways, long story short, they go to retrieve the key. The humans have their plans. They're going in the place where the Autobots and the Maximals can't fit for the third time. And the Autobots and the Maximals are going to create a distraction to try and get the Terracons distracted.
Right.
Just long enough for the humans to get the key.
Right.
Okay.
And so this works for the most part.
Right.
By the way, that scene was crazy when Bumblebee came back.
Okay. First of all, he jumps out of a plane to Mama said knock you out. Don't call
Time out. See, wait. Because this is where I fell asleep. I woke up. I woke up literally to Mama knocked you out. Right. I'm sitting like, how did he come back? So explain that one to me, please.
Okay.
So
it was a ritual that fell from the sky. It was like an ointment. Well, I don't know if you saw the blue ointment.
Here's what happens. They
look at Rich's
face. That's not exactly right. So they placed Bumblebee's body on a rock, and that rock just happened to be.
It was Energon. He was Energon. Pure Energon.
that rock just happened to be infused with pure energy.
But you have to remember how it came down.
Well, after the key was united and they opened a portal,
Okay.
energon just started falling from the sky.
There you go.
Essentially.
That's yeah. Mhm.
And
All
so
right.
it made all the energon that was already in the soil 1,000 times richer than it was. Which
Okay.
they already kind of alluded to that.
They said that. You said you need a lot of energy to activate the energon.
They said right, and then they said, and Optimus said, "Can we bring him back?" And they essentially said, "Well, if you can get a strong enough and pure enough spark of energon, it might be possible." And then they
Okay.
laid him on the energon rock, so you kind of
Okay.
knew it was going to happen.
All right.
And so when the key opened the portal,
So good.
energon for days.
There we go.
Which wouldn't that also make everyone real overpowered a
By
little
the
bit?
way, everyone in the theater was clapping when he came.
Man.
Oh, when Bumblebee jumped out of the plane, that was probably the moment of all moments in the film. Everyone. Yeah.
No. Okay. So when did Noah get the suit?
Okay, so here's what happens. So
Uh,
jumping ahead, Noah decides to, when they're underneath the tunnel
Mhm.
going for the
Right.
key, Scourge
Is fighting off.
finds out that Noah's under there and literally lifts him up. Now, instead of crushing the human in one go, he decides to hold on to him and monologue for a moment, which villains tend to do, especially in the 90s.
Right.
So that's appropriate. So while he's talking to him, his boy Mirage shows up and blasts him in the side of the head. Scourge drops Noah, which would have been pretty far distance. Noah lands, he kind of rolls out of it, and Mirage and Scourge go at it, but
Which was
Mirage,
a pretty great fight because he held on for as long as he could.
which is not very long. I mean, he was outclassed and outpowered instantly. So the
Mhm.
fact that he jumped in the middle of it at all, you knew it was kind of like a martyr.
I had hope.
He was
It
going
was
to
a-
die.
It was a martyrdom moment, though,
Okay.
right? Regardless of
Mhm.
your hope. And so what happens is Mirage cocoons Noah as Scourge just starts lighting up his backside, just starts blasting him and blasting him. And Noah's like, "Get out of here! You gotta live!" And Mirage is like, "I promise your brother."
Great moment.
Okay. All right.
And then what happens is his lights go out and Noah's cocooned under there and Scourge goes back to kind of doing what Scourge was doing. But then he kind of turns back on for a moment.
His brother.
His
the walkie-talkies.
the walkie-talkie turns on and Noah's talking to his brother for a half a moment, and then that energy field, I guess, Mirage still had a little bit of power left, and he goes, "You take me."
You take
Basically,
you drive.
Yeah, you drive. You take the wheels, and so
Okay.
he basically has
Which is
an
kinda
Iron
cool.
Man moment
Yeah.
where his
Come
car
on,
turns
it's
into a suit of
awesome.
armor around Noah,
Like you can.
which was cool.
It was fire.
It
I
was
gotta
cool.
admit.
And I feel like that was a nod
About
to
it.
to some of the cartoons, like some of
Yes,
the movies.
they did have some kind of exosuit in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Right, but who knew that exosuit was the
Actual
dead
Transformer
husk of a
And
Transformer
he used it very
skin?
well.
He used it
Very
great.
good.
I mean, he used it great, and the suit was obviously very intuitive. And also, okay, hang on, not to spoil the end. We are going to spoil the end when we get to it. And this
But what if he
exosuit.
makes a appearance in the Iron Man movie?
He's not. Well,
He's-
Transformers and
that's
Iron Man's not.
That's not happening.
Okay, so anyways, they takes the suit
Uh-huh.
so our human protagonist can finally be the hero of the story and actually combat the villains of the story. That's essentially why we needed him in the suit here, right? And it had this big martyrdom moment. And then, long story short, Optimus Prime shows up and he just crushes Surge with like a
When he
vengeance.
says, "Town Scourge, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to have your head."
Oh, and he does. And
He
he
does,
does
yeah.
it
He's
in
gangster. He's
such
about that life.
yeah, no, he does it in such a violent way. You're like, why didn't you do that the first time, man?
Yeah,
I mean, he
well,
was
you
like
have no.
mean.
That's because he had already been getting beat down.
Yeah. Well, Optimus Prime shows you why he's Optimus Prime.
So the thing is, Optimus Prime needs to lose just a little bit to encourage him to win.
Also, he was by himself. Remember, when they were fighting, they had a whole bunch of other predator bots, as you guys call them, helping them.
Right.
So If it was just, hey, let's fight me and you, then
Yeah.
of course Optimus would win.
Well, he kind of lost in the me and you fight.
He did
at
lose
the
the
beginning of the
Yeah.
museum.
He did,
He
but
did.
there were other people coming after him.
Yeah,
but
but
It
he
wasn't just
infused
him.
with dark energy, it makes him stronger. But because now he learned that the power of friendship, he had more
Right.
power.
Power of
that's exactly right.
friendship.
You
Now,
guys
wait.
know
This
if you
is-
go back and watch the film, the Predator boss they were all coming.
Yeah, but this is also classic movie trope. Classic movie
Yeah.
trope is are you with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
The hero has to lose before the hero can win.
Yes,
Right.
that is
Classic movie
classic.
trope.
But if you did see in the beginning of the film,
Yes.
he wasn't. If it was just, hey, Jack, let me and you go head to head, of course I would win. But if you had your posse with you,
Mm-hmm.
jumping me, as we
Mhm.
say in New York,
Mm-hmm.
of course I'm not going to win because your whole crew is fighting me. So if we go head to head like they did, it's just me and you, then he would have won the first time.
Well, Scourge was maybe not. Scourge was definitely overpowered,
Yeah, because
especially
he had 2 extra dogs coming out of him.
we saw Scourge take on the original Optimus Primal, not Optimus Primal. We saw him take down Optimus Primal.
And
We
we
saw
saw
him take-
on his arm, he had all the plates of the
Right. And you can only imagine those are like primes.
right.
exactly. And so we know that Scourge is the villain of all
Scourge
villains.
is what you call a wuss.
He's a wuss, ladies and gentlemen. He's a wuss. And then what happens is they blow up the key, and as Unicron is literally breaching the atmosphere of the Earth, he's instantly sent back, which was very reminiscent.
Yeah, very, very, very Avengers. So they blew up the panel, and then Optimus Prime is like, the only thing I can do is blow up the panel. But if you blow up the panel, it might sacrifice you. Optimus Prime goes with his. It's awesome. They showed his sword and they showed his axe, which was cool. The axe actually showed up, I think, in one episode of G1 Transformers, but it's still awesome. He blows it up. He's getting sucked into the vortex, very a la Avengers, and then we see Noah come, grab him, and is like, "I got
Oh
you."
yes, that's right. So then Noah, so Noah grabs Optimus Prime. Now, this was almost reminiscent to the Fast and the Furious movie. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the Fast and the Furious movie. In the opening of the movie, Vin Diesel's car is hit off to the side, and the blast literally rips everything near him off except for him. And that's kind of what happens here, where Optimus Prime is ripped off of the platform, and the platform's being shredded, and little old to scale Noah grabs Optimus Prime.
He's in Mirage. He has the exosuit, though.
That's the thing I didn't understand. Like, obviously, the Transformer technology is like intuitive because you see that the suit knows that he needs to like plant his feet down, so it produces spikes. So how come the Transformers don't produce their own spikes?
Right. It was interesting.
Or like a claw or something like that. A hook.
They needed Noah to be the hero here, right?
And then also how
That's
convenient
right.
how convenient that his axe wasn't powered up and energized so that he couldn't just easily slice and hook.
Wow. They should call you guys to direct the movie next time.
I mean, we've been saying that for 2 years.
Exactly. Like what are you talking about right now? Like, listen.
Wow. You
Jack
guys
got
will
the
do
hookups
such a
over
great
there.
job. I can't wait. Please call them up, Transformer franchise.
I know you're being sarcastic, but we say it ourselves all the time. They
100% believe we should, okay?
So then Noah manages to save Optimus Prime. Now, what I was going to say is this movie reminds me of the Silver Surfer in the second Fantastic Four movie, where Galactus comes and they hit a like an auto shutdown button, and then Galactus is gone. And you basically, Unicron is Galactus. He's devouring worlds.
All right.
By the way, did you hear the new cast for the Fantastic Four?
Oh,
Margaret
All right.
Robbie is going to
Focus
be playing.
on track. Stay on track. Let's stay on track. We talk about that after.
all right. So then, crisis averted. The Maximals are on Earth. The Autobots are on Earth, and Earth has survived. And the key is destroyed, which means the Autobots aren't going anywhere. End of the movie. Post last scene.
This is the most mind-blowing part that I haven't had my mind blown in a movie theater like this in a long, long, long time.
Yes, it's very reminiscent of the Nick Fury scene in the first Iron Man movie. So Noah goes into an office where he's
Wild.
trying to get yet another job, and he's there to interview.
Right.
He's given the interview, and the interviewer is asking some interesting questions.
Let's get
to
his
Noah.
name.
So we're
Bye.
assuming that this is Nest. So Nest
Agent
was
Burke.
like, yeah. So we're assuming that this is Nest, and Nest was the kind of military organization that worked with the Transformers in the later movies, right?
Yeah.
So they're
Mhm.
setting up to think, okay, this is how Nest starts, blah blah blah.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
That's what everyone thought it was going to be.
That's what everyone thought it was be. And
Until-
then what happens is this Agent Burke guy, and I put it in air quotes because that may or may not actually be his name as the series unfolds, gives Noah a card. Again, very reminiscent to the Nick Fury thing. I'm putting a team together. Noah flips the card over, and what does it say?
G.I.
G.I.
freaking
Joe.
Joe.
G.I.
I
Joe.
smacked my son. I was going crazy. The lady next to me got all pissed off because I was going crazy. Like, what? G.I. Joe? I was like, the crossover
Jack-
that we
Jack was
we
like-
needed.
That's crazy. And then also you could kind of connect the dots because remember the G.I. Joe where they had the suits. Like, how did they get that? Even though those suits are absolutely trash. But hopefully next time that suits will be better.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. And that's what I was thinking. The suit now makes sense because it's the exoskeleton technology they're getting off Mirage, maybe.
Yeah.
Or are the Transformers able to give parts of themselves to people to enhance them?
Maybe. Because
And
G.I.
then-
Joe had some incredible technology.
Right. And then there was the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which you didn't stay for.
So let's hear what it was.
So the
Oh,
post-credit
okay.
scene, we see Noah and his criminal friend, and they're putting together an old Porsche. We're using bits and pieces. He's like, what do we do? We're going to sell it. He's like, no, we're not going to sell it. The next thing you know, transforms, and it's Mirage. Mirage is back, baby.
Which I have questions for that whole thing because where did Noah get the technology to bring back an alien life form? Like, what are we talking about right now?
Well, did he use
My
the
man was on eBay, like just buying parts of Porsches and putting it back together. Like, what? What?
Look, it's done. Mirage is back.
That's all it
done,
is.
baby. That's it.
Okay, all right.
And then there was the second post-credit scene.
No, it wasn't.
What?
Yeah, you guys didn't say for that?
There was another
I don't believe you. Shut up anyway.
The one with the snake charmer,
What?
and the
What are you
cobra
talking
comes
about?
out, and like
He's joking around.
Okay, anyway, whatever.
Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
So good.
So, any
So freaking
last
good.
remarks?
Shout out to Brooke.
Non-stop thrill ride. Give
It
me
was
more. If this is gonna be the franchise, give me more of this.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love the
I will.
diversity. Go on, Chris. Go on.
Everything.
No, you're good. Who's
Oh,
sorry?
good. You're good. Go.
Oh, no, I was just talking about the diversity. I just love to see diversity in films like this because, with the Megan Fox and the Shahai series, there was literally no.
Yeah,
So colorful.
actually, it was nice to see not the typical Hollywood casting happening across the board here too.
I loved it.
Yeah, that was dope.
It was great. I loved it.
It was I enjoyed it. Like I said, I had very low expectations going into this. Very low. So when it came out, I was bopping my head to all the music. I was looking at all the squares, not bopping. I'm like, what? The most of the people that were bopping with me were older generation.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, I appreciated it. But yeah, it just reminded me of my childhood growing up, and yeah, I mean, like I was down for this, and I'm now down for just whatever comes after the G.I. Joe, the next Transformers. Hopefully they don't butcher this.
I don't know, man. If it's taken from the same vein, I think it's going to be good.
It might be good. Fingers crossed.
I think the same director needs to direct it from now on.
Yes,
Like,
I agree with you.
he needs to be on this, even though there was some plot holes, but I'll overlook that.
But it's a Transformer movie, so what do you expect?
Exactly.
Listen, it's way better than what was it, Michael Bay's, where there was literal scenes. If you paid attention, I think it might have been 2. There were literal scenes where they're just like they were arguing and nothing was happening. It was literally just them in silence arguing, but like the volume was up. You can kind of tell them, and then all of a sudden explosions.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
The first Transformer movie was pretty exciting though.
Yeah,
not
the
gonna
first
lie.
one was.
Well,
Yeah.
everything between that and this have been questionable.
Yeah, the last night, some of them were a little rough.
And just running, like there was just so much running for what? Like how?
So much
how
right,
is
and the
running?
jump in the
Emotion.
hole, where
And
they
the
be
jump-
like,
oh my god!
Oh yeah.
Right?
I love the way they like transform.
So-
It's kind of sick.
So that wasn't this. Oh yeah, the way they transformed in this movie was every moment was sick. And even in the trailer, man, when the trailer first
I
landed
cried.
and Anthony walked out of Mirage,
That
Oh,
transformation
man.
was
That-
sick.
he rolled up like,
Oh.
what?
You walked
That
out
was
of there
so
like,
cold.
that one shot alone,
and then with the
sold this
soundtrack
movie.
over it,
Yeah.
I got chills.
All right, should we rank this thing?
Let's do it. Right,
All
Jack,
right.
you go first.
Ladies first.
Oh, ladies first. Let's
Surprised you didn't. Okay, 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Oh, that's
10 out of 10.
a bold move right there. Okay.
Rich
All
is
right.
funny.
Chris?
I'm giving it a 9.
Wow.
I loved it. I
That's-
thought it was amazing.
That's
They will
also
hire us
pretty
to
bold.
direct the movie.
Well, they're definitely going to hire you to watch the new movie.
Yeah.
Rich?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you, Rich. That was really generous.
There's room for improvement, but I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Okay, so we got a 10, we got an 8, we got a 9,
And
I have to give it a 7.
I thought you were going to give it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think a 7 is pretty fair. I mean, I like this Transformer movie a lot. I thought the acting was pretty great across the board. I liked the take on it. I like the style. The soundtrack is impeccable. The CGI is great. What I was a little lackluster on was the plot, and just kind of the story in general.
Yeah.
So collectively, we give it an 8.5.
That's good.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Very fair. All right, so that's our take on Transformers Rise.
Did you get Lawrence's rate? Or he needed
Lawrence
Yeah.
needs to see
He
it.
didn't watch it.
Yeah.
He didn't
You're
watch
filling
it.
in for Lawrence today.
Yeah.
That's Transformers Rise of the Beast. We're giving it an 8.5. Definitely let us know what you think. Is that too high? Is that too low? What do you think of the movie? Like, comment, get involved.
Button somewhere around here.
And
I am Optimus Prime.
Oh.
we'll be back. Same prime time.
Same Prime channel.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Three Brothers and a Shot of Milk. We're talking